Have you heard the story of Ina the bear, who in 2021, after 20 years of being encaged, was released back into the wilderness, yet continued pacing in a circle? While encaged, with what little agency she possessed, she exercised by walking around the perimeter. This behavior vividly demonstrates how extended captivity can have a lasting impact on an animal's mental well-being, resulting in traumatized behaviors. Animals are kept in captivity, they're deprived of their natural behaviors and environments. This often manifests in behaviors like pacing, circling, or even self-harm. These are thought of to be coping strategies for the chronic stress. She didn't know any better or any worse, she only knew the cage. Trauma experienced by captive animals like Ina can be compared to the psychological trauma experienced by humans. So when she was released into the wilderness, she knew nothing else. She is free, but her mind is captive. In the wild, animals have developed natural mechanisms to cope with stress and trauma. For instance, after a stressful encounter, many wild animals engage in behaviors that seem to reset their nervous system, such as shaking, grooming themselves, or even physical play with others. Even outside of the wild, you see when your dog comes in from outside to transition themselves, they shake off. These actions serve as biological mechanisms to release accumulated stress hormones like cortisol, enabling a quicker return to baseline stress levels. This ability to shake off trauma helps them survive and thrive in their natural environments. They may also be shaking off adrenaline, like your dog, so it can transition to a more calm state in the home. Animals like humans can get post-traumatic stress disorder, especially caged animals. Captive birds often become so chronically distressed that they repeatedly bob their heads, peck at cage bars, shake, or even collapse from anxiety, pull out feathers, self-mutilate. Now imagine a scene in the wild where a small deer is grazing peacefully in a meadow. Suddenly it senses danger. A predator is lurking nearby, ready to pounce. Instinctively, the deer bolts, running for its life as adrenaline and cortisol flood its system, enhancing speed and focus. After the heart-pounding chase, the deer manages to escape and find a safe spot. Now it pauses and shakes vigorously, allowing it to release its pent-up adrenaline and cortisol, transitioning from a state of high alert and fear back to its natural calm state. Shaking is essential for the deer's well-being. By physically processing and releasing the traumatic energy, the deer can quickly return to its normal life. This natural mechanism is why animals in the wild do not hold on to unprocessed trauma. They experience the fear, release it, and move on. If the deer were to stay in that heightened state of fear and adrenaline, it would suffer long-term issues. Humans, on the other hand, instead of shaking off and processing traumatic energy, we tend to suppress it, pushing it deep inside where it can fester. Over time, this unprocessed trauma can manifest as chronic stress, anxiety, and various physical illnesses. Unlike the deer, we hold on to our fear and stress, which can lead to long-term health problems. Just as Ina's behavior was shaped by her confinement, humans can develop coping mechanisms to respond to chronic stress and trauma, which can manifest as behavioral, emotional, or physical symptoms, persisting even after the individual is removed from the stressful environment. In society, these mental cages can take many forms. Just like Ina pacing in her imaginary cage, individuals may continue to behave in ways necessary for survival in past traumatic situations, even when those